This is my sister, Etta Mae, holding me in this picture. I'm sure it was probably 1928 because I was born in December 27 and I'm not very big right there. Etta Mae was 7 years older than I, and I really didn't appreciate her till I was about 15, 16 years old. And gee, she was a real neat friend. I miss her today. Here's another picture of my sister's holding me. I imagine it looks to me like we're in a park someplace. And this is our cousin Francine. She was visiting from Missouri. Here we are, Mom and Dad and my sister and mother. We're all dressed up, probably getting ready to take a nice little trip. Sunday seemed like a trip for the family to be in the car, taking a little ride. Well, some time has passed by since the last picture. This is about, I would say 1937. And I imagine you remember the fellow bringing these little ponies around. And of course, when they came to our house, I had to have my picture taken on one. And it wasn't the same fellow, and it wasn't the same pony, but they came around when our children were about the same age. And sure enough, they had their picture taken too. This is my dad and I, about 1945. I don't know. I guess I was getting ready to go to college, but anyway, he was a real fine person. I miss him too. When I was in high school, and this is probably close to graduation, we had about 5 boys that had gone to the service, so there were nothing but girls, and we danced together. We had corsages, and we just made it do. Of course, it was during the war. Somebody asked me the other day which war it was, and I told them the Civil War. Their eyes sort of popped. Well, this is 1945. I graduated from high school, and of course in the fall then I started to enter college, Bowling Green State University. Here I am with Lois Grasser. We're in college, and of course we went through high school together, and we're still friends. From graduation to graduation, this is my graduation picture from college. 1949. In 1952, Bill and I were married in Prout Chapel, there on Bowling Green State University campus. This is at our reception, and the top layer we took home and put in the freezer, and our first anniversary, then we took it out of the freezer and had that for dessert. Well, the children came along, and this was about, I would say, maybe 1961, something like that. And there's myself and our son Craig, and of course our daughter Etta Mae. They were our pride and joys. And of course, were pictured in front of Grandma and Grandpa Klepfer's trailer. We had a lot of fun with that trailer. This, I guess I got a little ahead. This is only 1965. We were bowling, square dancers, and Etta Mae and Craig took square dancing lessons too. We were invited to perform at a jamboree at the sports arena, and the children, they held a great big banner, and of course Bill and I danced with the dancers. Had a good time. This is one of our pictures that we had at Christmas. It seemed like there for a while, every Christmas we had our picture taken. We called it the Klepfer Clan. I think this is about 1966. Well, our 25th anniversary came in 1977, and Bill and I went to Hawaii, had 2 weeks. Every once in a while we were thinking about going back, but we never did, but we sure had a wonderful time. Aloha again. Here's my better half, Bill. Here we are. I think this is like a picture for the church. And this is about, I'd say about 1979. And then we graduated from college. We were all together with her in Columbus. And Craig graduated from high school the very same year. But he didn't want any party, but we sure had a party for Etta Mae. This is one of our pictures that we took when we were at the Bok Tower on one of our little trips. This is 2004. I would come down about every winter. I belonged to Sweet Adelines for 25 years, and the theme this particular year, 2006, was Halloween, and so we all had to find a costume, and this is the one I bought, and I called it the retired geisha, the geisha costume. When I arrived at the rehearsal that night, nobody knew me until I got up on the riser, and of course, when I got to my place on the riser, they knew me right away. I was so tickled when Etta Mae came for the program. We had such a nice time together. This is in Miami, Fairchild Park, Tropical Gardens, I guess they call it. And this is one of those sculptures that beautified the area. That's 2007. This is one of those church pictures. This is 2004. Park Church in Toledo had, the ladies had a tea one year, and we went to it. And this, on this side is by Lois Grasser, Lois Lee, and her sister Jean. And we were supposed to wear hats, of course. You're supposed to wear hats for tea. And it was a wonderful trip for us that time. We saw many friends, and a lot of them at this tea. One 4th of July, I think it was 2013, we were invited to go to the sailing club there in Miami. And we had seen this picture in a magazine, and I thought, gee, I wonder if I could make that. And I did, and it was delicious, and it really made a hit that day. And oh, the fireworks were outstanding. This is also Miami. This is on the bay there. And of course, you see the skyline of a little bit of Miami. And I remember the day we ate outdoors. Oh, it was 2007. We ate outdoors, and it was a lovely day, but it was one of those cold days that happened very rarely. This is another costume for Sweet Adelines. And of course, all these costumes, we either had them made or helped make them. When I lived in Miami, this is 2012, I've met these ladies. I met Helen. Let's see, which one's Helen? I met Helen right here at the hospital. I was waiting to pay my bill, and she was sitting there, and it was cold in that place. Boy, it was cold, and I had a sweater on, and I looked at her, and she had a sleeveless dress on, and I said, my golly, aren't you cold? And she said, no, I'm not cold. Anyway, we got to talking, and something came up about bridge, and she said, do you play bridge? And I said, yes, I really like to. And she said, would you like to join us? And I did, and I met these nice people. There's Kathy, let's see, there's Marion right here. There's Kathy. And down here at the corner is Bernice. And there's, I think Leah's in the picture, and then of course Helen and myself. And we're still friends. And I really miss them because now, I live in Vero Beach, but they still live in Miami. Well, I guess that's about it. It covered pretty much a little bit of my life. Life is like a roll of toilet paper. The closer it gets to the end, the faster it goes. Don't waste it.